Welcome everybody to the Goes to 11 Vise Squad. Today I'm going to show you how to tie a Jigged Micro Leech. So start out in the vise. I have a Togens size 12 65 degree jig hook with a 1/8 inch 3.5 millimeter tungsten bead in olive. My thread today is 70 Denier olive UTC. So I'm going to take my thread and we're going to start it right in behind the bead. And while holding the tag at a 45, we're going to work our way back to the hook bend. By keeping your tag at a 45 degree, you'll get nice tight touching wraps as you work your way back. So we're just going to build a bit of a taper here now. This is going to build some body on the fly, and ultimately we're doing this to secure the bead into place so that it's not moving around on us. So we're just working back and forth, stopping a little bit shorter each time. Alright, now that we got our bead tightly secured, we're going to tie in our first material, which is some Uni Mylar peacock color, number 12. We're going to take our Uni Mylar, and being it's two-sided, orange on one side and peacock on the other, we're going to take it where the orange side is facing myself, and we're going to tie that in, and we're just going to go a little bit down the curve of the hook into the hook bend and advance our thread back into behind the bead. We're then going to take our Mylar and we're just going to wrap this up the body to give this fly a nice color contrast. So tight, overlapping wraps. Trim off our excess. And we're just gonna move our thread back about 1/8 of an inch. We're then going to come in with our second material, which is some olive pine squirrel zonker. And the way we're going to prep this is on the portion where it begins to sweep backwards, we're just going to pull off a little pinch of hair, like so. That's going to help when it comes to tying in. Just going to make for a tighter tie. So we're going to set this zonker right on the top with the edge of the leather touching the olive bead. We're going to do 2 loose wraps, make sure that we're nice and centered, and we're just going to pull tight and secure this leather onto the hook. We're then just going to build a little bit of a taper, keep everything nice and smooth all the way up to the hook bead. And we're going to trim our rabbit, or pine squirrel. So we're going to cut it about a hook shank in length, just like so. We're then going to come in with our next material, which is some olive ostrich. We're going to pull one strand off the stem. We're going to trim out the gross little portion right along the stem, and we're going to pull off a few fibers to expose the core. So on ostrich, one side generally sticks out more than the other. The side that doesn't stick out is the side that we want to tie in along the hook, facing the hook I should say. That way we'll get a nice flare when we wrap this. So we're just going to take our ostrich and we're going to palmer this up to form a collar. Don't pull too tightly, as you'll snap your ostrich spine and you'll be back to square one. So we're just going to work our way up until we get in behind the hook bead, and then we're just going to capture that. We're going to trim out our excess. And last but not least, we're just going to do a couple whip finishes. You can add a touch of head cement here if you are. I highly suggest using a bodkin and making sure you use a very small amount to get it nice and close in on that thread. But with 2 whip finishes, I find you don't need it. So there you have it. The Jigged Micro Leech. This is an awesome still water and river fly. It served me well. It's originally developed by Landon Myers. It's an overall great fly. You can tie these from 12 down to 18s, depending on what size you're looking at. Thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed today's pattern. If so, please give this video a like. Also, please hit the subscribe button and don't forget to click the reminder bell beside it so you don't miss any future content. Thanks again, and until next time, tight lines.